Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It came and went quickly. We're in the literal and figurative twilight of 2011, plunging into 2012. And obviously in the next week or so on the radio and on the nightly news, I'll be breaking down what we face in 2012 in more detail. But now we've got the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, we've got the Israeli leadership and others saying that the attack on Iran is on, and they're selling the same lies about WMDs that they sold dealing with Iraq back in 2003. Here we are, going into 2012, and really it's become a foregone conclusion or a self-fulfilling prophecy in many people's minds that 2012 means it's the end of the world, because the Mayans supposedly said that in one interpretation. Well, number one, I'm not going to put my faith in a religion and a system that couldn't invent the wheel, who didn't have the wheel. But also, I've actually gone and studied what the Mayans had to say. They just simply state that it means the beginning of a new hearth or a new age. Okay? All that aside, the social engineers since the 60s have implanted the self-fulfilling prophecy that the world is going to basically end in 2012, so there's no point in being politically involved because it's hopeless. It's like the Borg saying you will be assimilated, resistance is futile. Now, the globalists are into the occult from my research, and they do think that 2012 is a special date. And so they're moving forward, openly announcing the establishment of world government through the European Union crisis, openly getting rid of the Bill of Rights and Constitution here in the United States. So much that was hidden is now coming out in the open because they can't hide this global takeover agenda. We're at a critical juncture. They're having to reveal themselves because this is in the final phase of the takeover, and that makes them weak because now the public is actually listening to us. All of our years in the wilderness, Ron Paul, myself, and others, warning people is really starting to pay off, but we've got to maximize this information. Now, let's get one thing straight. They could release some super flu this year. There could be some accident in a lab, or that's what we'd be told, and some deadly plague could be released. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's certainly being hyped. They could start a huge war with Iran that leads to a larger war with China and Russia. Most analysts say that it could lead to that if the West, NATO, Israel, the U.S. does attack Iran. Certainly it'll cause oil prices to go up, and we've seen the media promote the fact that Iran will launch terror attacks in the West if they are militarily struck. And Iran's head of intelligence has said they will launch asymmetrical warfare attacks in the U.S. and Israel, which the controllers are more than happy to have a political diversion here from Fast and Furious and MF Global and the banker bailouts, because then they'll use that as a pretext to clamp down, and they're now announcing the TSA checkpoints on highways and that the military will be used against the citizens. So war is not good for anybody except the ruling class. In fact, most analysts say that an attack on Iran will actually prop the unpopular mullahs up, and it'll also prop up leaders in the West, including Benjamin Netanyahu, who's facing re-election coming up soon. So let's pray that war is not started, and let's also work against it from happening. But no doubt the world is going into high gear. 2012, with the economic meltdown by design and all the things that are happening, is accelerating, so it is going to be one hell of a year. And again, as the sun sets, we're about to lose light here in the twilight of 2011, brace yourselves and be politically and spiritually and culturally engaged, because all that evil men and tyrants need to flourish is that good men and women do nothing. We'll break down more of what's coming up again on the radio tomorrow, and then back on Monday at Infowars.com. But this is a time to not be sitting on the sideline. This is a time to be active and to be involved. All right, hope you have a safe and happy New Year's Eve out there, everybody. God bless.